Welcome to the People Chronicles. I'm Jackie Hoffman, and we are joined by Jason Kahl, reporter Jason Kahl. It's nice to have you here with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
And you have such a huge fan club. I have to start off by saying that I should probably be maybe not the president, but maybe vice president sometime soon. And not only have people known you through social media, but also reading stories that you've written. So tell us exactly what it is that you want people to learn from your story today. That's what we do with the People Chronicles and how people can learn from different stories.
Okay, well, I've been a crime reporter here, not just here, but also in Dallas, Texas for a few years before I came to Reading, and also in Virginia and here Reading, my hometown. I've been here writing about crime as a crime reporter at night for about 16 years now. And it's been very challenging, very troubling, but also very fascinating to see how violence and drugs and crime impact the community. And I've tried to tell the stories of each person. I mean, there have been hundreds of people killed that I've been out to, and I've been talking to their families, their relatives, right after this tragic event. For me, that's like a great honor and opportunity to get to listen to them, tell the story about their relative or loved one. And one thing I've learned is that everybody who is shot, stabbed, injured has red blood. And that's something that I've noticed, especially since I've been on social media. That's a big issue that a lot of people have trouble understanding, it seems. They think of people in the city or poor people or people who live out in the middle of nowhere as different than them. They don't see how they're similar to them with their soccer games and church and school. They think of people, a lot of people that I write about, as different than them. And my message has been to try and say that we're all people, we're all part of the same community, we're all someone's child, someone's loved one, we're all people, and we all deserve our stories to be told. And you can learn something from someone who's unemployed or a janitor or even someone who's made some bad decisions in life. And they're all, they didn't all start out that way. Everyone is an innocent child, and how do they get to be laying in the street dead? That's what I've thought about, and what I still think about is how to stop that, how to tell the stories so that people care. Because I think that we're all a community, and we all need to come together. We're not going to solve the problems of Berks County or Reading as two separate entities. They're one and the same.
I think what people don't understand also, the fact of being a reporter, is that you have a connection with, it seems like, every individual story. You have a connection with whatever person that may be or whatever family that may be, and then you go and get involved. Where does that come from?
Well, it's just something that I feel myself, I'm obligated to do. When I'm out interviewing someone or listening to them, I'm 100% focused on them, trying to understand their emotions, put myself in their shoes. A lot of times they ask me what to do because they're confused or lost. They've never experienced a tragic event like this. And through my job, I've been in countless situations with families. And so I think that although my job is to tell their story, I also try to comfort them and give them some advice, tell them to talk to the detectives, tell them to tell me the story of their son or their daughter or their husband or their wife, so that people in the community will care about them and understand them. And it won't just be a name and an age and an address, but a person who lost their life.
And where does that come from? I mean, were you always someone who was, so wrapped up with things that were going on around you? You're very observant. It's not just the part of being a reporter, but it's that part of being involved.
Well, my father, Arthur Kahl, was a truck driver, and he was elected shop steward at his work. And he never went to college. That was because people liked how he related to them, and he treated everybody fairly and the same. And growing up, both he and my mother always taught me that no one is better than you. Doesn't matter what their job is, what their title is, how important they act. We're all humans. And I didn't have a lot of pressure on me to do anything other than be the best at whatever I chose to do. My dad said, I don't care if you're a street sweeper. If you're a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper in town. If you're a dentist, be the best dentist in town. If you're a truck driver, be the best truck driver in town. Of course, my dad and my mom both read all the time. And I started reading at a very young age because my mom was a teacher. And my first fascination was with Indians, but I've had like this curiosity that's gone from Indians to classical culture. I studied Latin and Greek. Then I went and lived in Europe and I studied the Renaissance. Then I went to Georgetown University School of Foreign Service and I studied international affairs. I was curious about the whole world. And so that's what where my base was. And then I found myself back here several years after I graduated. And I really liked crime. I really liked reading. I really liked current events and talking to people. And I thought, let me go on a macro level in my hometown and see what's happening here, because really what's happening here is no different than what's happening in any other city anywhere in the world. I mean, people are the same everywhere. And so this distinction between the city and the county is the same as the difference between the people in Russia and the people in Eastern Europe that broke away from Russia, or people in Latin America. I've lived and visited Latin America many times. These prejudices that people have and these lines and boundaries that people draw between each other are very fascinating to me, because as I've traveled and as I've met people here and elsewhere, I see that everybody is pretty much the same. You know, they want the best for their children, they want a good education, they want a safe place to live, they want to be able to make a good living and provide a better future for their children. That's here in Reading, that's in Mexico, that's in Venezuela, that's in Europe, that's in Africa, that's in Asia. Anywhere in the world, families want the same things. It's all about families. Everybody has, 99% similar DNA, I believe. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but it seems to me like that. We all have the same wants and desires, basic needs. We're all born, we all have a mother, we all have a father. And so whether you're talking here locally or on a macro scale, I see it as we face similar problems and have similar desires and wants.
And you wear so many different hats, too. Just by listening to you in these past 5 minutes or so, I even not only hear reporter, but I also hear counselor in there. And I can almost hear mentor, because you're telling, some of our younger listeners and viewers out there that it's okay to do whatever it is that you want to do, as long as you're the best at it, or at least try to be the best at it.
Right.
So when we come back, we're going to take a short break. We're with Jason Kahl, and we're going to find out more about what it is that happens to be in your next step or your next chapter, and find out who your biggest supporters are and where they came from on the People Chronicles.